Hello and welcome back to my YouTube page. I'm Miss Cami from Miss Cami's Preschool, and today on this video I'm going to be talking to you all about touring and interviewing with potential childcare families. If you're a preschool teacher, a childcare provider, or even a childcare center owner, then you're familiar with touring and interviewing with potential childcare families. Relationship with those families before they even step in our door. Well, in this video, I'm going to show you all the tips and tricks that I use when I'm interviewing and touring with new families for my preschool program. So usually for most of us, the very first sign of interest from a family is they give us a ring on the telephone. Some of the families will email or contact us through like Facebook Messenger, Instagram, if you're tech savvy and you're on social media. But most families still do it the old-fashioned way and call us on the telephone. I have this really great potential parent questionnaire that I go through when I talk to a parent on the phone. I want to make sure that they've already had enough information via our website or our Facebook page so they already know kind of what they're signing up for or they're interested in for their child. But I do this questionnaire for my end so that I know exactly how I can help this parent, or if I can't help them, who I can refer them out to. I do believe in referrals. I do believe in helping other childcare providers and preschool programs in our area to pass along to those other families, because at the end of the day, we're trying to help the families and make sure that they find a safe, healthy learning environment for their children. Whatever we can do to help them, whether it's referring it out to another provider or another program, whatever we can do to help that family is what we need to do as teachers and childcare providers. And so I have this parent questionnaire. When a parent calls, the first thing I usually ask them is what's their name. And I make a little mark on here where it says parent name. I ask, what age their child is. I only take ages 3 to 5 in my program, but I do ask if they have any other ages. If I don't take the ages that they're looking for, then I make a little note right here of who I'm referring them to. And I also give them the number of the provider or the program so that they can reach out to that person. I offer a couple of different options for days and hours. So I ask them what days they're looking for. Some parents don't know, and that's a great place to put the other notes because they may just be calling around and getting pricing. I always take down their phone number and their email so that I can touch base with them if I have to add them to a waiting list. Or if I schedule a tour with them later, I want to make sure I have their contact information so that I can reach out to them. I also ask if they've been referred by any parent that I have in my program, or a past parent, a neighbor, a friend, because I do try to give some kind of referral incentive to friends, family, and enrolled parents. And then I always ask if they want to schedule a tour. Some parents don't know right away when they're on the phone if they want to schedule a tour or interview, but some are ready to schedule a tour so that they can sign their child up as soon as possible. So I also put the tour time, date, and information for whenever they're going to come and visit me, so I can make a list. I make a note on my calendar. And then if I'm on a waiting list like I currently am, I always ask the parent would they like to be added to my wait list. Even though I may have referred them out, I always ask if they want to be added onto my wait list for a further time to sign their child up later on. And so I always ask that right off the bat whenever I make the phone call with that parent. Another thing I always ask parents is, have they had a chance to look at my website? I want to make sure that all of the information that they need is given via the website before they even call and contact me. It's a great time to find out for that parent if this is going to even be a good fit, whether our curriculum choices, our religion choices, the days, the times, and the hours, if they're going to work with their schedule. I want to make sure all of that is up front before they even make the contact to call us. Once a parent has made the choice to come and actually interview and tour with us, I always do a COVID screening because right now we're in the middle of a pandemic and I want to make sure that are keeping their family safe as well as our family safe. So I have a little COVID station set up, and this is basically where we check temperatures, we wash hands. I have this really, really nifty sink that I got on Amazon, and it has running water. And we get, wash hands, make sure they're screened, and then they are welcome to go inside of our home to continue on our tour. If you'd like to see our tour, it's linked below. Feel free to hop on there and take a look at our past tours. But then we go further into the home to do the rest of the interview and the tour. So before you even start touring and interviewing with potential parents, you've got to market, right? How many of you do not fully market your preschool or childcare program. I know I've been guilty for this in the past. I'm a little bit better, but we definitely want everyone we know to know about our programs so they can tell people if they're looking, or so that if they're looking themselves, they can give you a call when they need care. Every one of your neighbors, your family friends, your church friends, your children's school-aged friends, parents, they should all know that you run a program, because if they ever have anyone that needs care, then they can contact you when they need that care. How do you market your program? I know a lot of people ask that, what can I do to make my program more seen and more known in my community? The first thing that you're going to want to do is you want to have a website or a platform that families can contact you if they need care, whether it is a full-on designed website or if it's social media. And by the way, if you're not using social media, you're doing your business a disservice. Make sure that you're jumping on social media to share information, to share pictures, share activities with your families that are enrolled in your program. And the best way of marketing is doing a great job. If you do a great job, your families that are enrolled in your program will spread the word to their friends and family members so that they can come to you if they need care also. Make sure you're making all of your information about your program available before a family even walks into your program. The reason that I believe that that's the best way to do it is so that, number one, you're not wasting your own time. Number two, that you're not wasting that family's time. And then they know they're making a great choice by choosing you to even come in and interview. On my website, I have every single thing that a parent would need to see exactly what I offer, the times that I'm open, our schedule, our calendar, everything that they need is available on my website. And actually, that's part of one of the questions that I ask when a parent calls me or emails. Have you had a chance to look at my website? Because that has all of the information that they're going to need in order to move forward with a tour and interview. For instance, if our hours don't work with them, if they need to be picked up at 7 p.m. and I close at 5 p.m., they already know that this is not going to be a good fit. There's no reason to move further in trying to get a tour and an interview. Or if they know that I serve meals, then that may be helpful if they're looking for a program that they can just bring their child to and not have to worry about feeding beforehand or bringing a lunch or anything like that. So you want to make sure that all that information is on and available for families to see before they even make the next step of contacting you for a tour and interview. I always encourage families to bring their children with them for two reasons. One, so you can see that child and kind of get an idea of their personality. Will they fit into your program? Will they fit with the other kids that are already in your program? And two, so that child can come and see where they're going to be spending a big portion of their day. I discourage parents from going and touring and interviewing without the child, because they're not going to be spending the whole day here. Their child is going to be spending the whole day here. And their children need to feel comfortable coming into this classroom. This is going to be a place where they learn, they play, they nap, they eat, and they spend a big portion of the day in this classroom. And so if they don't get a good feeling about our classroom and they don't like it here, we don't want to learn that on the first day of school. We want to learn it before. Or even if a family gets a feeling like maybe their child's not really comfortable here, we want to make sure that that is taken care of right away. And this may not be a good fit for them. Or they may love it here and they don't want to leave. And so, that child is comfortable. I always schedule my tours and interviews after hours. I schedule it after I close so that I want to make sure that the children that I care for during the day are safe. I don't want to have any strangers coming in here that could potentially cause us harm. And I also want to make sure that I can give families individual attention to answer any questions that they have, to show them details about our classroom, give them a tour of our home and also the outdoor play area without having to worry about hearing Miss Cammy, Miss Cammy, Miss Cammy during the interview. When you're touring and interviewing with a potential family, follow your gut feeling. If you get a bad feeling about that family, do not move further. And if you don't mesh with them, don't move further. Sometimes personalities just don't match. And you want to make sure that this family is going to be a long-term family in your program. Many of us start at infants all the way up to school-age kids. Can you imagine going 3 or 4 years with a family that you absolutely dislike? So you want to make sure that at the tour and interview, this is a family that you can see yourself long-term, getting to know, being a part of your preschool or childcare family, and that you feel comfortable with their personality. Not all personalities mix, so it's completely understandable if you get a bad feeling about a certain parent or a certain family or a certain child and you don't want to move further. Remember, Not only are the families interviewing us, but we're also interviewing the families. It's a two-way street and a two-way combo. We want to make sure that they're comfortable with us, and we want to make sure that we are comfortable with them and their children. Kind of the process that I have here when it comes to touring and interviewing is first, I do the phone call, or they may send an email. Even if a family sends an email or like a web request, I always contact them via phone and hear their voice, touch base with them, and go over my questionnaire that I have posted below. And once they decide to schedule, I make them an actual like official email with the schedule. I send them out the paperwork they're going to need to enroll, or if they want to move forward on the process. And when they get to my home, I showed you the whole little COVID stand that we have to wash hands and take temperatures. But once we come into my home is when the interview truly starts. I show them my classroom. My classroom is right off the front of my home. So if you want to see a tour of that, feel free to, it's in the comments below. Feel free to click on the link and it will take you straight to the tour and interview. But they come into my home and the first thing I tell them is, this is my classroom. I introduce myself, I talk to their children, but then I show them this is my classroom. And we kind of just talk about what we do in our classroom. You know, we do our lessons in here, we do nap in here, we eat in here, we play and we learn and we sing and we have a great time with the class together. And then after we talk about kind of this, our classroom and our schedule of the day, I talk to them a little bit about policies and procedures. What is expected from them as a parent? What is expected from their children? And we talk about our meals and nutrition. I serve meals here. Talk about our snacks. We talk about outdoor play and a little bit of our curriculum. We also discuss withdrawal and enrollment procedures. Most of the families have already seen all this on my website and they're very informed before they come in to make sure mainly that they're just ready to move forward, or once they see our program, they may decide that, you know, maybe it's not a good fit for them and their family. I always let every family know that I'm currently interviewing for this position, especially when I'm down to like one spot. I'm interviewing for this position. It doesn't mean that they automatically come in and sign up and they get the spot. Sometimes we have multiple families interviewing and I have to pick the best fit for our program. It's okay, and don't ever feel afraid to tell a parent that you're interviewing for this position. Just because a family comes in and they like your program doesn't mean that they are automatically enrolled. It's your choice as a provider, a preschool teacher, or a childcare center to enroll that family. Lastly, I highly encourage you to make your fees due when they enroll. I always let my parents get a few days to think about it, and then if they want the spot, they let me know. And the way to hold their spot is they have to pay the registration fee and fill out their paperwork. And when they get it to me, I hold their spot for 5 days, unless it's the beginning of the school year. Well, I hope you enjoyed all of our tips today for touring and interviewing potential families. Don't forget to like our video and share with your friends. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't already, and also the notification bell to know when I post another video. Thanks so much for watching, and I will talk to you guys next time.